Chairman LaFleur, perhaps you maybe give me some direction here a little bit on this. We have a growing problem in West Virginia with stranded gas, and the production of the various constituents with NGL that we can't use necessarily in the local market. It has to be shipped. Currently, a lot of it's being flared or just wasted, which is a shame, and it doesn't benefit the consumer and doesn't help the environment any. So my question is what I'm hearing or sensing is there's, and I think it's not unique just to West Virginia, with this exploration of the Utica and the Marcellus in numbers of states. There seems to be a potential jurisdictional problem starting to flare up a little bit, and one of them is, so my question to you is, should we be treating NGLs as natural gas and thereby allowing the federal government, or your group, to take care of that? Or should we continue having the NGLs handled at the state level and manage it that way? Do you have a position on that?
I hadn't thought of the jurisdictional question. It's a good thing for the committee to be looking at. There's a lot of stranded gas capacity as well as gas that's being flared because there's not sufficient takeaway capacity for the liquids. We only do the pricing for the liquids pipelines under the Interstate Commerce Act, but we don't do the siting. I suspect some of the states that think they do the siting very well would not welcome federal siting. I think we could do it well because we do it well with gas pipelines, but it might not be as popular with some of the states involved. But I think we've done a good job with the gas.
I'm just trying, whether or not you want, are you going to take a more passive and let the states continue to do, or are you going to try to assert a role that otherwise is not expected?
I didn't have a plan to redefine natural gas under the Natural Gas Act, but I think it's something to think about.
Okay. Could you provide us in writing, because with the time frame we don't get, and especially since you said you weren't prepared to discuss that necessarily, but could you provide us some rationale for the federal government to be involved in this as compared to the states?
Yes, we'll certainly take that and think about it. Thanks for the opportunity to think more.
Okay, thank you. Now, the last is maybe more generic, but it probably for over 10 years, as an engineer in private practice prior, we were concerned about the electromagnetic pulse, and it's been mentioned here again. I've been hearing about it for well over a decade, but certainly in the last 5 or 6 years, people have been talking even more here for the last 3 years that I've been in Congress. Where are we with this? Or are we just waiting for some catastrophic event to happen? Because there's just an awful lot of talk, but no action.
Well, I think I mentioned in my written testimony and briefly in my verbal testimony that last year the Commission voted out a rule requiring utilities to have operational plans and response plans
I guess more what I'm saying is, what's your expectation?
I think that the geomagnetic disturbance standards that we'll get, and we have one pending, will help somewhat with the electromagnetic pulse. Although I think there's also voluntary efforts going on in the North American Transmission Forum to talk about other aspects of the EMP. But I think the GMD standards are probably the most tangible action that's gone on in this area for a long time.
Is there progress being made in Europe or elsewhere with EMPs, because it's not unique to the United States?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Is there progress being made with other countries in dealing with EMPs?
It's variable. A lot of progress is being made in Scandinavia, South Africa, and the United Kingdom. A lot of other countries are taking a wait-and-see approach and looking. Israel's also doing a lot. Other countries are taking more of a wait-and-see approach.
We'll have further conversation about it, but thank you very much.
The gentleman yields back balance of his time. This time, recognize the gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Gardner.